What's going on, you guys? On today's episode of Making Changes, we have with us the one and only,
the one and only, the homie from the macaroni. Act like you do not know me.
Let's keep this on. The one and only OG Rome.
What's cracking, man? You see that? Yeah, you cannot go wrong with an intro like that, man. They call me OG Rome, Mr. Everywhere. I read Road Dogs Entertainment. Thank you so much, honey, for having me here, man.
Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Awesome.
So would you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself? Where did you grow up?
Okay. Well, for people that don't know me, I'm an entertainer. When I do music, acting, a little bit of everything, you know. I grew up in Inglewood, California. I spent the majority of my years there, but I got into the foster care system at a young age, so I was able to move around from Orange County, San Bernardino County, LA County, just moving around in foster homes, but majority is Inglewood, you know?
So, brothers and sisters?
Brothers and sisters. We're in a big family. We're as close as the Wayans brothers, man. We're like, there's 8 of us. There's 5 girls and 3 boys. We have a big family.
Are you still close with any brothers and sisters?
My brothers and sisters, at the moment, my family's a little bit better now, you know, than we were when we were younger. My older sisters, you know, they always get together now. They're doing well. My younger brother got shot at a young age, so he's out the picture. And then my 2 younger brothers and sisters, I never met besides the day when they came out the stomach. So they're adopted.
They're adopted. So as soon as they came out?
Yeah, they were into the system and taken away from my mom.
This was after you? Are they younger than you?
Yeah, they're younger than me. Yeah.
So mind telling us a little bit of growing up?
Growing up. Well, you know, I'm an 80s baby, so you know,
80s.
Everybody could relate to the simple fact that was the crack era, you know.
Yeah.
And if anybody does or does not know exactly how the details go down, so the CIA is the one that brought it in, gave it to Rick Ross. Rick Ross brought it to the hood slanged it. And if you connect it with Mexican cartel, then it's simple as coming from Tijuana, you know? And that's what my family was, you know? We were connected and selling drugs. So we had a big house. My dad had different cars all the time. He had guns everywhere. We were living pretty good, you know?
Did you know at a young age that your dad actually did that?
Yeah. Because when you're in the 80s, if anybody remembers, like people would sell drugs like a drive-through. Like you would be in the gangs were literally hanging out in the front of the house, and if you wanted drugs, people would just drive up, and everybody would actually fight to go and do a sale. They'll get in the car. It was literally in the open, you know. At least for me, that's how it was. So it was normal to us, all that kind of stuff. So we were desensitized at a young age. So I thought it was normal, and it's just when my dad died that the whole tables turned, you know, because he was the sole provider of the household and obviously the leader, and you know, things just turned.
How did you find out that your dad actually passed?
So it was Christmas. It was Christmas. So from what I remember of my dad, he put me into boxing. I remember my first sports was boxing. He put me into East LA to the gym with Julio Cesar Chavez. So from there, we had a little boxing gym at the house, and he was always giving, you know, anything we wanted, we had. And I just remember Christmas, and every Christmas he would be like Santa Claus. He would come in with the big old black trash bags and give it to all his sisters, for all their kids, and for us. So it was always a good thing. And then that Christmas, I remember us all waiting for my dad to come, even though he already dropped off the presents, so we could do the Christmas thing and open it with him. And then my mom was procrastinating, and she said, just go ahead and do it. As kids, you don't know no different, right? You just want to hurry up and get your presents open. So we opened it, and then the next following day, that's when my mom told us the news that my dad got shot in the head. Yeah.
Was it due to, was it gang violence or drugs?
You know what? Every time I used to do this interview, I always used to think, and the story was my dad fucked the Maken Changez's wife, because my dad was good looking, he had everything, you know, and he actually didn't like gangsters. I'll tell you some crazy stories about that. So I always used to say that story until last year. My sisters all got together and they're like, man, do you know that we hid so much stuff from you because you were a boy? That we were older than you? I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that you're saying is wrong. I'm like, what? So my dad was fucking the main owner of the bar where they used to slang his wife. And he sent a Salvadorian.
Kind of like Chalino Sanchez.
Yeah, he sent over somebody else because they couldn't beat my dad up. He had, he was a fighter.
Yeah.
They sent somebody to kill him in the back of the bar. And the story was because my dad used to play Russian roulette a lot. I don't know how to explain this to you, but my dad was crazy enough to be around the house and be like, whoof. My mom used to tell stories that he used to point the gun and be like, this is how much I love you guys. Whoof, wah-bah. And I'm like, you like crazy stories.
Yeah.
So my dad was, I don't know, maybe he was on one, maybe he wasn't, I don't know. But it just so happens to be that he was messing with the main owners of the bar's wife. They killed him and they blamed it that he was playing Russian roulette for money in the back.
Right.
They dragged his body from the back where all the gambling and everything goes down, and they brought it to the front. So I guess so they couldn't get in trouble. But even to this day, that whole area is no business is there. It's like, I guess,
shut down completely
since my dad died. Yeah, it's in Inglewood.
He was one of.
Yep. So that's a little bit, and it's crazy when now you speak about it, like it brings you back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The memories. Yeah.
It does. It's triggering. Would you say?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
So, how old were you when this happened?
I was 8 years old that I can remember. I was 8 years old. Always into sports. Always, I thought I was gonna be a comedian. I grew up, always trying to be like Ace Ventura. What is it, Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Always being a class clown. Always being talkative, high energy.
How did your life change from that point on?
Well, just like it would change for anybody, man. Literally, when your dad, the one you look up to, is gone, and you turn around and your mom decides to start taking the drugs instead of slanging the drugs.
Oh.
And as crazy as can be, my little sister was 14 years old. Shout out to my sister Cruz, because she's like our stepmom, because at the same time when that happened, my mom started doing drugs, and she already knew all the clientele. Because back in the days I'm talking about, it's like a store. You will come to the house and knock 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Let me get this, let me get that. And it's like, and then you actually show your kids how to slang it. Here's a dime and throw it through the window. Like, it was that crazy,
She was pushing everything?
Yeah. So my sister at 14 years old took over the clients because my mom started doing the drugs. And then, make a long story short, my mom ended up 1 year later, being with somebody else, having a baby under drugs. And that's when the Department of, Children and Family Services come over and check out the situation. And then that's when shit hit the fan, So then they took you guys from her. Yeah, that's when they took us away from my mom, And I still remember that moment because, now I sit back and reflect on everything. I wouldn't change anything because it makes you who you are. And when you've been at the bottom of the gutter, there's no way but to go up. And you could lose anything at this moment. And I know that I could come out of here and drive and be in a car accident. And at the end of the day, I think I could be a survivor because I know the code of life is just really just grind. You know what I'm saying? The
fact that you had to program yourself pretty much to just be, you had to be okay with it. You had no other choice. And it's crazy because you were right. A lot of people that grew up in the 80s grew up with that same mentality. It's, you have to survive. One way or another, you have to survive. It's just, like I said.
You remember, huh?
Yeah, well, because I've been through it. Yeah. I've been through it myself.
It was typical. It was, but yeah. It
was normal.
Normal, yeah.
At that time, you guys were taken from your mom. Did your mom was she ever able to get you guys back?
It's funny now, because you did ask the question and I kind of blanked out. And it's like, I remember on Century, there's that, it's either 5555 building or the 77777 building, and it's still there. And that's the Department of Children and Family Services. And I remember us going in there and they're putting a little playground, and then they start calling all your family, and then nobody wants you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants you. And then, that's when they separated us. They separated my oldest sister and the other sister, and they're like, all right, you guys go together. Me and my brother together. My little sister that was born under drugs by herself. So she had it the worst. She grew up not even having the hug of my mom,
Or you guys.
Yeah, pretty much. And until this moment, she's still in the streets.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. It's really hard to have a family member that's out in the streets, and it's just like, I don't know what her story is, if she even wants to get any help. But it's hard when you try to help them, when you try to be there for them, and their mentality is just, I like this life. Leave me alone. I'm good where I'm at. Because I went through it with my brother, the one that just recently got murdered. And it was hard. It was really hard. Also, I can relate to your story for the simple fact that after my mom passed, my little brother and my little sister, the youngest ones, they got taken away. They were out in Colorado. My brother was in jail and I was out here. So I still have not been able, this happened like 20 something years ago. Mm-hmm. And it still fucks with me because I haven't really sat down and thought about it, because all I know is I gotta keep working
and moving.
I gotta keep on doing shit for me not to think about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Even at the moment, I'm kind of choked up, and I wouldn't. And that's why I don't speak much of the stuff that I go through.
You know what? Here at Making Changes, we appreciate the fact that you're coming out here, because you don't understand how much your story is gonna help. There's so many people going through shit like you, and you are gonna be that light for them. Your testimony is like amazing. Look how far you came. It is very hard to go through what you went through, and you're still here, but you also have to remember that you have to take some time and just take a deep breath and realize, hey, you know what? I'm a survivor. I'm doing this shit.
You know what? I never made excuses for anything, I utilize sports. I utilize my energy, and the people around me that were falling down and being addicted to drugs, my brothers and my sisters, and all the tragedies, and to say that I wasn't going to do the same thing, And luckily, through my hard work of being, when I was little, I spent most of my time at the park, at the recreational park. So till the lights came off till 8 o'clock. So I played basketball, baseball, soccer, just to stay away from the house,
Yeah.
And it got me so good at sports that I was always the best player at every team. I was always playing with adults. I was always getting the best accolades and either being the MVP and taking my team to the championship. And through team sports, I realized what I could actually do,
Yeah.
I became a leader through team sports, and
that's right.
Coaches put a lot of good seeds in me and influenced me to I knew I was special since I was young, I just was around all the bullshit that it took me a little longer to mature,
Yeah.
But just like just like a diamond, the more pressure you put on it, the better it's gonna come out. What happens when you put pressure on that shit, a straight diamond, and ever since then I already knew I had a shine inside of me. So I utilized sports to play high school football, college football, while still doing dumb shit like slanging on the side, because that's what's the family business. They had the fucking drugs, might as well slang it. And I was so good at sports that the coaches will allow me to slang drugs, and I will fail tests and then be like, okay, we need them for Friday Night Lights, let them redo the test, So I did get some stupid privileges, and when I got out of high school, I realized that all that attention that you got, all that all that dies down. So I had a realization, you have to start all over in college,
Mm-hmm.
So all that popularity.
So
I went to college,
Which one were you?
I went to Southwest College and El Camino College. Didn't follow through. Why? Because I was already addicted to the music. So when I transitioned into the music was in 2005. My little brother got shot in the head.
I'm sorry.
And when he got shot in the head, we used to be in the blocks just slanging drugs and freestyling. Mm-hmm. There used to be a couple black guys that used to run that block too, and then we already had our set and they had their set, and we were like, okay, so somebody's gonna have to move out the block. I'm like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're all gonna get down, and whoever wins, we jump in each other's set. So literally we all got high, and keep in mind I am a fighter, so I ended up whooping the shit out of all of them and jumped them into my set. And then before you know, we're all friends and just growing up like dumbass kids, trying to do your own neighborhood, trying to do your own shit, having your own apartment, selling drugs, doing dumb stuff. Friends die at a young age, but I was always a leader. I was always a leader. I utilized manipulation into influence. You know, when I was young, obviously when you're smarter and you do dirt, you're a leader. You could get away with shit. You could tell people what to do. Then I realized that wasn't my way because I was already in the right direction. So I utilized that to actually later on through music. After my brother got shot, I went to the studio for the first time, recorded my first song.
Which was it? And
I don't remember it, you know. But the guys say, "Hey, you want to do a show with me?" I'm like, "Okay." So my first show was with Mac 10.
Mac 10? Like Mac 10?
I'm in Inglewood.
Shut up.
My first song, Key Club, Mac 10. That's after my brother got shot. So they tell me it ain't his spirit. They tell me it ain't like good energy around me. Right. Like literally, I don't know what I'm doing. I go up there and I always videotape all my performances just so I could be my worst critic. I videotaped it and I'm like, okay, I need to go back and get better, get my swag, learn how. I went back to Motown. I went back to the hip hop. I studied the whole industry and, you know, better myself. And over the years, music has changed my life in many ways. Literally got me out the hood, got me to see places I never thought I ever would have seen and meet people that I've never thought I would have ever met, you know?
Where are you at right now with your music?
With my music, the thing about it is, to myself, I have a high expectation of myself. Other people might acknowledge that you're at a certain level. I don't know what level. I'm at the bottom in my eyes. Why? Because it keeps me pushing. But when it comes to what I'm doing right now, I went from paying to do shows back in 2008, selling tickets, to getting popular, to getting my first famous feature. So let me go back to a little bit of the history. I ended up performing in Eazy-E's bodyguard, see me perform. He's like, yo, what's up? He comes to my house and he goes, man, if Eazy-E was around, he would have signed you. Because by then I already have a team. I have a camera crew. I have my everything set up because I did it like a boss, you know? I went and invested lots of money into my whole team. And then he goes, who do you want to work with? And I'm like, all the West Coast legends. You know, I'm on that gangster shit.
Right.
And he goes, he grabs his old phone. He goes, bing. He goes, boop, 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 boop. He calls Cocaine. Yo, Cocaine, I got my nephew Rome right here. I need you to get on the track with him, woo woo. And he gives me the phone and I'm talking to the legendary Cocaine. And I'm like, what the fuck, woo, 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 woo. Bam, got a famous feature with Cocaine. Then when me and my video with Cocaine comes out, before it comes out, I'm already making connections, filming and editing for a lot of famous artists. And then Corrupt comes around, and once you start working with people, they're friends. They start seeing it. So then Corrupt comes over to the house, and then before you know it, Rapid Forte stays at my house for a whole month, and you just start making friendships. And then I realized that at the end of the day, you know, not trying to be cocky, look, I do it all. You know what I'm saying? They rap. Congratulations. I got respect to my legends and everybody that I meet. But my self-confidence is so high because I'm a student of the game. I know how to rap. I know how to engineer. I know how to video edit. I know how to do graphics. I know how to do everything. So while somebody wants to sit there and pump their chest out because they're a rapper, put that shit down. You feel me?
Stop it.
Yeah, stop that shit, bro. Stop that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fucking computer geek. I love fucking getting on computers, hacking shit. So you know, I'm a mastermind. I do my own thing.
I'm gonna need you to do a little something for me.
Necessity is the mother of all inventions. You know, when I first started, I needed to get a model. So I paid for my first model. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna ever pay for a model. I made my own modeling crew. I ended up getting, yeah. If you
so how did you end up doing that?
Oh, you can go back to my history. If you go back to my page, if you go back to Road Dogs Models on Facebook, you're gonna see I had 5 girls from the top 10 contestants of America's It Girl competition. What? So they were all working for me. I started my modeling crew. I started renting out my models to Rapid Forte and everybody in music videos. Then I started getting invited to the mansion parties and
just. You still have that going on, or?
Nah, man. You know, when it comes to working with women, no disrespect. I'm tired of the flat tires. I'm tired of the babysitters not being able to babysit. I'm tired of the excuses when my name's on the line. You know,
I'm tired.
I'll smile and fucking model. No, but it's just it's a lot of hard work, you know. And I was just trying to do stuff like an entrepreneur, build my graphics team, build my videographer team, and doing everything. And at the end of the day, it was a great ride, but you know, not everybody wants this. You can't force anybody to wake up and say, you know what, I'm gonna drive this far to go film this event. Or I can't make somebody go on stage. I can't make somebody write. You know, like I used to have artists under me that I edited and did, you know, stuff for them, but it's not their life. This is my life. This is what I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm never gonna stop.
I kind of don't want to go backwards a little bit, but I'm gonna have to.
We have to.
I'm gonna have to.
You want to get me here again, huh?
I'm sorry. I promise you, that's you know, I just need people to understand, right? When it came down to your mom, what happened to your mother afterwards? After the whole situation, they took you guys away from her.
Yeah, she, if have you ever been in foster homes, they give you a monthly visit or quarterly visit, and they're like, oh, you know, you're gonna finally see your mom, and then you get all happy, and then you go to the center where you're supposed to meet your mom, and then she doesn't show up. And you're like, okay, then you do it again, and then it doesn't happen again. Then you just, you know what? You just start separating yourself from the person, you know, and you start being a survivor, because at the end of the day, when you're in the bed, living in somebody else's home, your conscience is your best friend. You're thinking of how to escape.
Obviously, it's hard after realizing that your mom wasn't going to show up, right?
Yeah.
Is your mom? Is she still alive?
Actually, no, man. It's crazy. So, my dad shot at when I was 8 years old. Mm-hmm. My brother shot at 17 years old in the head. I could tell you stories how I still have the bullet when I got shot in my head, but it missed me. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
And but we'll get to my mom. Damn. So shit, you want to hear that story? That's fucking stupid. Now, oh yeah. So at the moment, I still have the gun and the bullets in from the glass. When I was young, you know what I'm saying? You're just trying to get famous, you know? You're just trying to get known, and all you know is getting known for fighting or you know, stupid gang shit. And I seen somebody that was my enemy, and I drove up towards them, and I got out the car. My sister was pregnant in the back. My best friend was in the right, and I told him, just take care of the car. I get out the car, and he was in his bike. I started mollywopping him, and as their neighborhood, me not knowing, and I told him, stay in the car. This fool's come out the house with a gun, and I guess he gives me a heads up, and then I'm like, nah, this motherfucker got a fake ass gun. That shit shiny like a motherfucker. That shit fake. I get in the car, and I'm a shit talker, so I'm verbally abusing these fools mentally, because they already know who the fuck I am, so they're already scared. And I get in the car, like and I'm so they're not shooting. So plus you're in your fucking own house, you're gonna fucking get in trouble. That's what my mentality, you know. Mm-hmm. And then I get in the car. And I guess I triggered him because I was talking too much, and he was like 3 feet away. And then I'm like, acting like I went to get my strap, which I didn't have at the time. And when I went down that fool, I guess I triggered his heart. And it don't matter if you're a shooter or not, he's fighting for his life at the moment.
Yeah.
And when I later as an adult, I evaluated, and that's exactly what happened. He was scared that I was gonna do something because of what the fuck I used to do. So he fucking shot at me. And I guess when I knew I was getting dug down, he shoots, boom, boom, boom. All you hear is, whoo, you see the white lights, you see the orange lights, you see the red lights, just like in the movies, motherfuckers. And then I look to the left, time stops, because time does stop. You look to the left, and my best friend's face is all bleeding.
Fuck.
And then he's driving, woo, and I'm like, what the fuck, motherfucker? I told you guys to get out, don't get out the car, this and that. And then he stops the car 1 block later, because I see all kinds of blood in his face. And we kind of start checking ourselves, and nah, he didn't get hit. What happened was the bullets went through the mirror. They went through where my head went down, and all the mirror hit him in the face and just cut him up. So we got back to the house, and we evaluated everything. And then I looked at the fucking angle, and then the bullets. I took out the bullets, and I'm like, okay, this is for my safekeeping. And literally from that moment, I knew that my dad got shot in the head, my brother got shot in the head, I got shot at my head, that I was gonna take music serious.
You're like, fuck it.
It's funny you say that, but I took it real serious from there. I found any excuse to stay in the studio, to keep working, because everything I was doing was to try to show off. So might as well just show off in the studio, you know? So that's exactly how that crazy story happened. But I do have it as a souvenir though.
Really?
Yeah, till this moment.
You're crazy for that. I would have been like, fuck that, let me get rid of this. But
that's crazy.
So is it something that you randomly see and you're just like, yeah, I gotta keep it pushing. I gotta stay out of trouble.
Oh, staying out of trouble is so easy, man. Because I meditate now. I have high energy. I know how to get everything out of life, and it's by just being nice to everybody. Highlighting everybody else's attributes, and I live a rich life, and rich. I mean, I'm rich in happiness. I don't need materialistic stuff. I'm around every day of my life with people that appreciate me every single day, and
it's very important.
Literally, like, for somebody who had nothing,
yeah,
the little things make me happy, So I'm never upset. I'm always happy, and if I am upset, I sit back and be like, you know what, that's not me. I never want to get out of character, and I retract and I apologize to whoever or whomever I must have been a smart ass to, because I'm a smart ass,
Life is too short, and the last thing you need is just...
Yeah, matter of fact, like I had 3 people that I had unfinished business with. I make sure I communicated with them, because at the end of the day, it's not that I did something to them, they did something to me, but I had to let them know that it's okay. So now I'm free, literally. Right? I don't think about it no more. I'm like, hey man, look, I apologize to you. You're free. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck you, but you're free.
You're free to go. You don't have to worry about me coming to fuck you up. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay,
so on that note, so your mom passed, and how did your mom pass?
So I found myself doing like 800 hours of community service for unpaid tickets, all kinds of dumb shit I was doing. So I went up to the judge and I'm like, you know what? Hell no. This judge is gonna hear my story. So I told him my whole life story in front of everybody. Woo, 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 woo.
They gave you the chance? Because some of them, they're just like...
Yeah. It's funny how life works, man. If you put yourself in the right position, you come with the right energy.
I agree.
Honestly, I still the point right now, there's no for me. There's no. I get everything I want, not in like a negative way. It's because I ask for it. I say I'm gonna get it, and I get it. Period.
Manifest it.
That's exactly what it is. So.
But also your way of approaching.
Yeah, I'm not rude. I'm not like, I work so hard that if you don't acknowledge my worth, is your loss. You know what I'm saying? Because when you say no, you turn around, you're like, oh, they fucking working with my friend now? Yeah, I told you, bro. Told you, and I'll purposely do that. You say no to me, gonna fuck with your boss. No.
Not like that.
No, not like that. No, not literally.
So, your mom.
My mom. So I started doing some community service at a convalescent, And then I realized I used to do music. And in the convalescent, there was an activity room where you could actually entertain seniors, give back, help out. And I kind of fell in love with that, I fell in love with working with seniors, that opportunity. And I found myself lying on my first job, Well, actually, it wasn't my first job. I was a salesman before, but my first job after quitting selling drugs. And I told them that I was working at a convalescent, and I wasn't. And it was just, but I did have experience because I had community service, So from there, I worked at a convalescent, and then my mom ended up having cirrhosis to the liver.
Oh shit.
She would get nervous while selling crack, so she would have to be drinking. And every time she drank, she ended up getting cirrhosis. She had 41 holes in her liver, and then she got diagnosed with cirrhosis, and she ended up being at the Centinela Hospital, and the assisted living was right next to it. I already had made my relationships with the owners and everything, and I was able to bring her in without no insurance and everything. And the first night that she came in, after being able to get a placement for her, around 5 a.m, she died. And that shit was the craziest thing ever, because I never hurt so much. Like, I had my first, what do you call that when you fuck? I don't know, I lost my voice, I lost everything, you know what I'm saying?
Nervous breakdown?
Nervous breakdown, I was like, what the fuck?
Ooh, I feel you on that. When I lost my mom too, I was like...
And I was in the hospital with her every day while she was hurting and pain, sleeping in the hospital, going to work and taking my breaks and going to the hospital, and damn, my mom was a motherfucking gangster though. Fuck, I love her, man. Until her dying day, she's like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna die a G. She like, go get me some shit. I want to smoke some shit. We're gonna go woo woo. We're gonna go do all kinds of shit. My mom was gangster. She lived her life. You know. And one thing about it is, if she couldn't be a mom, she was a good friend. A good friend. Like, she will always try to make up. Like, I never, as weird as this might sound, I never had to find out a place to hang out at. You know, when people were ditching in school, we would always hang out at my mom. And while people might look at it as a bad thing, she gave us a place instead of being in the streets, getting in trouble by the cops, you know. She always said, you know what, if you guys are going to do something stupid, you're going to do it regardless. You guys might as well do it at this house where I could supervise all you guys. And if your guys' you know, mom's called, then I already know that you guys are right here, you know. And she was a great friend. She, you know, I wouldn't take nothing back, you know.
One thing you have to remember is we don't know what was going through her mind.
Oh, I know.
You know? She just lost the love of her life. Now she's like, fuck, I gotta take care of my kids. I'm gonna do this. And unfortunately, you know, not everybody is mentally strong to just be like, I'm not gonna fuck around with drugs.
Exactly. Every single one of my family did, and luckily they were able to get better, and now they have houses. And unfortunately, really my little sister, she's still on the Crenshaw under the freeway. I gave her one of my rooms. She's like, but you can't blame my little sister because her brain is so fucked up since she was born into drugs that it doesn't calculate. It doesn't.
One thing that I've noticed is there's no help for these people that are like, they need the help. They need people to just go out there and help them with their mental issues that they have. It's not just drugs. It's like some of these people are really out there and they really they're fucked up in the head. Yeah. They need help, but everybody's like, they're on drugs. They're on drugs, they're homeless because that's where they want to be.
It doesn't click no more.
Yeah.
It doesn't click no more. You'll have a conversation and it went from, hey, how you doing? Hey, this motherfucking bird's flying. And oh, this, it just drifts off from last week. And I'm like, what? They're in present time, past time. Instead
of saying, I'm going to help them out, they just leave them out there. And on top of that, from what I hear, they're just people offering drugs. On top of that, like, they're fucked in the head with that. I don't know. It's just, when it comes down to your brothers and your sisters, are you still in touch with any of them at the moment?
Yeah. My oldest sister, Cruz, is still the leader of the, you know, she always sits up.
Did you guys find each other after everybody was placed?
So what happened is my sister, Cruz, ended up, she was 14. Then 4 years later, she's 18. And she has her baby at 15. So she's already a hustler. So her and my brother-in-law, and I'm already having a 1-bedroom apartment. And then I already started slanging drugs out of there. And then she got the foster homes caregiver license. So she ended up, she's a fucking hero. She went at a young age, she went and sacrificed her whole relationship and all her life to go and get my little brothers, my little sisters, and even me later on. So when I was 17, I ended up leaving the foster care system and going back to live with her because my little brother, unfortunately, went to school and said that my sister slapped him. And then he ended up going, you know, they ended up taking him away. But yeah, man, she really put it down for the family. She took over, and, you know, to this moment, my sister came from Washington. You know, we're about to hang out for 4th of July.
Nice.
You know, the only thing is that at this moment, my little brother and sister that I never met, they're around 21 and 23. And I think it's that time now. And I feel like I'm successful enough, and they'll be proud of me to be able to say, yo, I am your brother, you know? So I think it's that time for me to kind of reach out and try to find the resources to connect with them.
And were they still in the system?
No, well, now they're 21 and 23, so they should be adults now.
But I mean, were they in the system like they actually got...
yeah, straight out the wound. And
that they got sentences, both of them together? Tell me a little bit about Road Dogs.
Road Dogs Entertainment. Yeah,
how did that start? How did you even link up with them?
Well, it's funny. Remember I told you I did that first song. So Road Dogs was already established by a team of 3 rappers. And then they had another group. And I just came in as OG Rome. And I started learning from them as far as how to write music, because I didn't know how to write music. And I was very ambitious. So I did my first show as OG Rome. And I had all my homeboys from the street. So I was in there 40 deep. So everywhere I went, I was deep. So it's like I already had my entourage, you know. whether they knew my song or not. My team didn't know my song, so I was doing good. So they're like, hey man, we want you to rap with us. So I joined their group, Road Dogs, and then as I start working with them, I just surpassed them. You know, no disrespect. They weren't workaholics. I ended up learning how to engineer, how to do everything on my own. I ended up building a team. I ended up doing the graphics. Then I realized, you know what? You guys ain't fucking doing shit. And call me what you want to fucking call me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't kick you out. You kicked your own self out your own shit. I could make up a fucking band called the Bunny Rabbits. That shit's gonna go famous. I don't give a fuck what I make. At the end of the day, it's my hard work. It was everything that I was putting in. I was booking all the shows, sharing my time with everybody. So I got love for everybody, but this is Manifest Destiny. This is exactly, so I brought in the whole team, you know, and then they weren't, I guess maybe internally, probably animosity or whatever it was, but I was invested too much. I invested too much money on the logos. I invested too much money on that everything. And then I started recruiting new artists, and before you know, I'm like, hey, you guys either gonna be coming with me or not. All right, cool. So you got yourself, because they never really took it serious. It was nothing's a label, nothing's nothing. Motherfucker, everybody says, oh, this record label. It ain't nothing, bro. Until you invest in it and actually go out there and put the work. Yeah. And that's what I did. And it wasn't nothing till 2013. 2008 and everything is just doing little shows. I'm telling you, we used to sell tickets, try to get our fan base, you know, but 2013, that's when it was over. That's when I considered myself in the door. I was in the door already.
What is it that you do now? I know that do you still have podcasts that you do?
At the moment it's on stall, but actually after the birthday bash, I reopened the room. I mean, I'm spending too much money on this goddamn shit.
On the birthday bash?
No, on the podcast, you know what I'm saying? I'm over there doing the graphics. I'm over there doing the editing. I'm interviewing you while I'm doing this shit right here. You know, I'm a fucking control freak. That's my fault.
So what does your podcast consist of?
Well, I like to interview celebrities, you know, my good friends like Hertz Media, you know what I'm saying? Hardworking individuals. To me, I highlight everybody that works. You know, eventually I'm gonna bring out my own trophies and start awarding people. And it might be through my eyes, but I'm a fucking workaholic and I know who the fuck is working. And at the end of the day, the same thing I do with my birthday bash is to highlight individuals that are constantly out there at events. They are constantly out there modeling. They're constantly out there filming, editing, rapping, and doing something. And they might feel like they haven't achieved what they wanted to achieve. But people like me that's been around legends, trust me, man, you guys are doing very good. And don't worry and don't wait for somebody to tell you that you can't do it just because they couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's people like me that put a seed in this individuals to keep going. Every time I'm around people, I purposely want to make sure I put a seed on them. And if it works out, literally a lot of times they do, they'd be like, yo, the homie Ron told me about this. Yeah. You can't take nothing with you. You can't
gatekeep. You can't gatekeep. So what else do you do aside from the podcast? You do shows, right?
So
can they hire you?
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, features and everything. Every feature I've ever been on, if you look at Jerome featuring anybody, not only do they invest on the feature for me, but I invest that same fucking money. Listen to me, that same money that they put into me, into the fucking project, because I know how this industry works. And what if that guy is the one that gets me famous? That's my way of looking at things. You feel me? They have their own fan base. They have their own thing. There's individuals that nowadays are just entertainment. You don't have to be a lot of talent. So, you know, I do features. I do a lot of shows lately. Lately, I've connected with Cali Effects, which is a big cannabis company. They have their own line of from drinks to
drinks.
Oh yeah, they got their own CBG and CBD drinks. They got it's actually #1, and I'm not telling you by choice. It's by popular demand. I'm trying to tell you, it tastes so good. It's just. How
does that work? Is that what they say? You take it and you don't. It won't come out like. If you get drug tested, or?
Well, I can't tell you 100% of all that works, but CBD is different than CBG, and I'm learning as I'm going. Obviously, it doesn't have the THC. The THC is the one you're gonna get in trouble for.
Season.
Yeah, everything's most likely the extracts of the plant, you know. But they have their cartridges. They have their own lube line. You know, Stormy Daniels. They got their stuff in Walmart. They have a, you know, through them, I'm sponsored. They sponsor my events. I'm pulling up with a 2-story bus. They got a couple buses across the country. You know, they have a great team. And
how does the whole sponsorship work?
Sponsorship works is if you're not working hard, they have no reason to fuck with you. Period. Because everybody's bosses and they're established. You got to bring something to the table. The way that I look at it is I'm just grateful to be able to catch their attention because they work with millionaires. They work with big brands, yearly convention centers. They're booked everywhere. And for me to catch their attention, I'm not sure.
Is it something that you have to, I mean, when I say how does it work, I'm asking, I guess, and do you have to continue promoting them? They came to you and...
No, I came to them. I came to them and said, you ain't got no choice. Got no choice but to hook up with OG Rome because I'm doing things and you're doing things and I got this whole world unlocked and you got that whole world unlocked. No, that was just my confidence.
And let's do things together.
No, and I think they see me perform. I know Bree for many years. I've always seen her working with a lot of, you know, hardworking individuals. And I think when I came across, they never thought of sponsoring an artist. It's just what I brought to the table, I think opened them to an idea of trying something new. And so far, we've been working together, getting a lot of big events. Orange County Play Awards. We're going to New York. We're going to Oklahoma. We're going to Las Vegas next week. So it's a great relationship, you know, because they're connected with a lot of people and it opens a lot of doors for me. I'm able to do shows in Huntington Beach with Caucasian hardworking individuals. Yes, they love your boy. No, literally. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm out here performing for 18-year-olds. I'm like, that's crazy. They wildin'. They fucking, you know, like, it's a different atmosphere, you know, so.
It's good to expand.
And not only that, I also lost an opportunity this weekend for my music being a little too provocative. So it opens up my eyes to being able to put music that's able to be a little bit more family friendly too. So I could be able to do those concerts, you know? And it's funny because the concert that she was booking me at came out on the news today in the morning. So I would have been on the news.
It's okay. Your time will come.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm going to learn and go back to the books.
Anything coming up?
Anything coming up?
Aside from your birthday party.
Oh, we got to talk about that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Let's talk about your birthday party.
Oh, man. Birthday bash. 8th annual, man. I remember the first year I did it. I said, you know what? I know all these celebrities. I'm always coming to everybody's event. They call me Mr. Everywhere. I didn't give myself that name. I'm always OG Rome, but then you know how all rappers have an alias. Then Corrupt and all these people start calling me Mr. Everywhere. I'm like, you damn right, motherfucker. I am Mr. Everywhere. And then it starts sticking on. And I'm like, okay, fuck. And then when I start finishing my sleep, bam, Mr. Everywhere. We'll make a long story short. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call all these people because I used to, at lunchtime, while you guys are out there eating your lunch, I will literally go in my car and call all my celebrity friends every day and just put a seat. Hey, how you doing? How you been? Woo woo. Hey, how you doing? How you been? Woo woo. Whether they know me, they didn't grow up with me, they're like, this motherfucker either bugging or he's being real nice. And I build those relationships. And then I'm like, you know what? My birthday bash is coming. I have my modeling crew. I'm like, you know what? We're going to do my first, my first birthday. I never had a birthday party. I had my first cake at 24 years old. Shout out to my sister Norma. Yeah, remember, we didn't grow up like that, you know?
Shout out to Norma.
So I did it. I called Rapid Forte. I called people and people start showing up. I'm like, you motherfuckers, you know? So it worked out.
It feels good when people
It feels good to show me the thing. And then from there, I'm like, you know what? Rest in peace, KJ from Easy's bodyguard. He died and I did a fundraiser and I was able to raise funds. And I'm like, you know what? People believe in me and I have the energy to bring people together. And then I did it for the second year. And before you know it, I made it into a network. I changed the formula of it being my party to bringing in people that actually work. And then they all meet each other at the same place. Celebrities from independent artists, because celebrities, they all want to get a famous feature and these people want to pay into it. So it all works out, man.
Huge network party.
Yeah, so I'm on my 8th year. I had a lot of people from Cali Swag District, Kid Frost. I had Noriega fly out from New York. TV stars, wrestling stars, God is good, you know? And my biggest stars are my independent people, the people that I see at every show.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are my stars.
So when is this gonna happen?
They're gonna be July 15th.
So is this open to the public?
It's open to the public. I'm not gonna lie, it is. You know, I do my personal invitations, but I don't mind people coming because they already know our energy in here. And I've seen people say, oh, if there are fights, they've never been a fight in my house. And I warn people, if there's ever a fight, we're gonna let you finish it out. We're gonna lock the front door and we're gonna jump you respectfully.
Yeah.
We're gonna fuck you up. And then I'm gonna put you on the fucking stage as an ornament. Nah, the whole point is that we all have that energy where you see, I've never seen people fight. I've seen people make up. Oh, I mean, I used to not fuck with them because I was at your party, man. We reunited. Because drinking liquor and Mexican music has this little way of bringing people together.
Nothing is impossible.
Oh, no.
Especially for Mr. Everywhere.
Mr. I need a jet.
Right? So tell me, if anybody wanted to ever reach out to you for anything.
Don't ever come around here. Not around my house. But I lived over there by the movie Friday, so you know what I'm saying? It was that part of that bullshit. But you can find me everywhere, social media, OG Rome 310. All my music, OG Rome on any platform. You know, I got this song called Wildin'. I got a single called Go Dumb. I got this video out called Walk. And a lot of my music is really to make people dance, you know? So I hope they enjoy it. And if you don't, it's your loss, baby, because I ain't stopping.
Is there any advice that you would like to give
people?
Well, mainly to anyone that was ever or is in the position that you ever found yourself being.
Advice. Don't be shy to express yourself, man. There's a lot of people out there that's willing to help. There's a lot of people that's seen your tragedy. There's a lot of counselors. There's a lot of help out there. And sometimes when you keep it to yourself, as I have for many years from the damn interview, right? It builds up. It builds up. And you actually have to let it out, cry it out, scream it out. And at the end of the day, start focusing on how to better yourself, because nobody cares of what you're going through. Nobody cares that all my tragedy. At the end of the day, there's a bazillion people in this world. You're either gonna do it or not. You know, you're gonna be like the rest of the people and make excuses, and 95% of people in jail that are foster home kids and just keep with the bullshit, or you're gonna make a difference and say, you know what? I'm not gonna do the same thing as them. I'm gonna be better because I had it worse than them. You know, I have no choice but to be better. So my advice to you would be is don't let nobody tell you you can't do it. Focus on your game plan, invest, think about it at night, think about it in the morning. If it doesn't come overnight, it's because it doesn't supposed to come overnight. You're supposed to enjoy the process. There's a story between an elephant and a dog, real quick. The dog had a baby at the same time as the elephant. The dog, after 9 months, had a baby. And then the elephant didn't have her baby. And then the dog got pregnant again. Bam, another set of 9 babies. And the elephant still didn't have a baby. And then again, so the dog goes up to the elephant and tells the elephant, look, I'm not trying to be rude, but I've already had 3 different litters of babies, and you haven't had your baby. Is there something wrong? And then the elephant tells the dog, look, I'm an elephant. When my baby comes out, people will stare at it in amazement. People will want to touch it. When my baby stomps on the ground, the whole world will hear its sound. The thing about it is, you were blessed many times and many times over and over again. My blessing will come one time, but it will take a matter of time. You know, and at the end of the day, when that baby comes out, it's going to be something that the whole world is going to want to see. So that message that I'm trying to say through that story is that you might not get what you want because everybody around you is getting what they want. It's not your turn. It hasn't been your turn. You haven't worked hard enough. The universe knows this, because my turn is happening right now. And I thought it was supposed to happen before. And even if it doesn't happen now, you still got to work for it. So if it doesn't happen for you before, because everybody's getting theirs, yours is going to happen. And when it does, it's going to be outshining everybody. That's all right. I'm saying.
That's right. OG Rome, thank you for coming on to the show. I really appreciate you. shout out to your sister for taking charge and just getting everybody together. You know, it makes a difference, and you guys are very lucky to have her. You guys are very lucky to have each other. I wish you nothing but the best, and keep shining. You're doing your thing. You're doing your thing, and we'll see if we get invited to this birthday party. I don't know.
July 15th.
Like,
bring your face mask.
So with that being said, you guys, this was OG Ron with us, sharing his testimony. Once again, thank you so much. Shout out to Hertz Media. Thank you for being there through everything that we do. This was Making Changes.
Believe that, Jack? It's OG Ron, Mr. Everywhere. We are here at Making Changes. Check it out. Growing up in the hood, I ain't never had much. Back then, anybody get touched. I was the shit, so I was to get flushed. They say you grow up and you didn't have much, so I could say that thing twice. It was lethal or nice. See, if you grow up in the hood, you gotta pay the price, cause in my hood, you had to gang bang and earn them stripes. And it don't matter what them all cats could like. I'm just coming out the dome cause my name is Rome. And I grew up in foster homes. My mama left me all alone. And I used to sit back, looked at the phone. And like, never did I get a call. And now I sit back and I'm about to ball. And now I'm making changes. And I don't give a fuck with two faces. And I grew up with no cases. And now I blow up. I straight blazing.